Hello everyone, thank you for the time given to me. I will explain about material assessing young learners. Okay, what is assessment? Assessment is the gathering of information for a specific purpose. The purpose is automatic that you are probably unaware that assessment is part of it. Example: when you go to a bookstore and select a book to read, you make an assessment as to which book will provide you with information or pleasure. Assessment differs from evaluation. Assessment refers to collecting information and making judgment on a learner knowledge. When we think of assessment, we usually think of teacher using it to determine how well an individual child or group of children are doing. As a teacher, it is important to have clear instructional goals so that you can assess whether the goals have been met. Cameron Cameron 2001. Assessment is different from evaluation. As mentioned above, assessment looks at what individuals and groups of learners can do. Evaluation, on the other hand, conquers an either educational program and not just specific learners, and is much wider in compared Brian 2003. An assessment is considered to have validity if it measures the skill it is supposed to measure with a specific group of learners. When looking to see if an assessment activity is valid, you, you need to look what the activity is and what it is supersede and measure. Background to assessing young learners. Reasonable expectation. Make sure that the expectations for young learners are reasonable. Do not expect children to have better oral language skills in English than they possess in their native language. For example, if children are only expressing themselves in their native language using 4 and 5 word sentence, they should not be expected to express themselves in English using longer sentence. And what time? What time is the amount of time that the teacher waits for a learner to respond to a question? When you assess students, it is especially important that you wait at least 5 seconds for a response. Transitioning into English. Before children are given an English language assessment, they need time or transition into English. Language learners often work in the classroom, though thinking in their native language. Instruction to learners. Tests solve assessment specific aspects of language use and not if children can understand the instructions and format of the test. Talking to strangers. Children are usually taught not to speak to strangers. However, there are situations when an English language test may might be given by someone who is unfamiliar to the child. Formal assessment. Elementary school students in most countries are required to participate in mandatory informal assessment that assessment their native language reading and math skill. In addition, young learners are increasingly being required to participate in formalized English language use testing. These tests vary greatly from country to country and often region within a specific country. This type of assessment might be administration on a one-to-one basis or give to a group of young learners in the form of right tension. ESL language proficiency instruments. There are many different oral language proficiency tests. Their designed for use with young ESL learners in the Unity status. This instrument usually requires someone to administer the speaking portions of the test on the one-to-one basis and comprehension your learner's assessment. In research, your tests have been introduced for children in countries where English is a foreign language. Probably the most well-known tests are the Cambridge Young Learners Test, developed by the University of Cambridge ESOL examination. Classroom basic assessment. Assessment should be integrity and reflect the type of instruction taking place in the classroom. Many oral and written language activities can easily be used for classroom basic assessment. Most teaching activities can be used for assessment when there is criteria including an aims as well as feedback mechanics before use an activity as an assessment tool. It is important to determine what type of assessment information you will gain from the activity. The first is listening skill. There are two main components of listening assessment in the young learner's classroom. The first is the assessment of phonemic awareness, the ability to distinguish between different sounds. And the second component of listening assessment is listening comprehension. Speaking skills. Speaking skill can be assessed by asking young learners questions and joining them in conversation. You can assess students by asking a specific question during class as well as by talking with them on a one-to-one basis. And the third, assessing reading skill. Assessing student literacy skill is a complex process. Writing assessment. Writing is assessed by eliciting and examining a sample of writing. The learners can write a sample consisting of a sentence. Assessment in the classroom. The first is assessing listening comprehension. The purpose of this section is to show you the concept and technique discussed in the chapter. Children course books often have one or two assessment page at the end of each unit. The focus is often on listening signs. It is necessary to assess receptive skill and productive skill, speaking, writing, and dealing with group of learners. And the second, assessing speaking skill. Some coursebook page can easily be used to assessing your learners' speaking skill on an individual basis. Okay, that's all my presentation. Thank you for attention.